In the third major DLC of Skyrim, Dragonborn, you can finally make your journey outside of the province into the nearby island of Solstheim. This territory, located in the Sea of Ghosts, has been considered a part of Skyrim in the past, but right now it is under Morrowind's control, and throughout the years it has been influenced by many different cultures. In this video, we'll completely overhaul this island covered in ash and make it more interesting to explore while keeping it lore friendly. I'm Bard's college graduate, and with that, let's check out the first mods in the list. I think the best place to start is to overhaul the settlements. When beginning the questline of Dragonborn DLC, you'll travel to Raven Rock by a ship from Windhelm. This place used to be a prosperous mining town controlled by the East Empire Company, but now the ebony mine is depleted and the town is a colony for the Dunmer House Redoran. To enhance this town, we'll be mixing up two mods, Dunmer Settlements of Solstheim and Spaghetti's Raven Rock. Dunmer Settlements of Solstheim is a minimalistic, super lore-friendly addition to the game, as it only changes and adds some important details in the city. As the Dunmer believe Azura is their god ancestor, the mod adds a statue of Azura right outside the temple, as well as a statue of Boethia. Also, now every entrance to the town has these bright Redoran banners to add on to the impression of the House Redoran controlling the settlement. There is also a new manor added for the influential Arano family, as it makes sense they have their own house instead of living in the more vain manor as they do in vanilla. All this and more, but the change I like the most is that after the ebony mine reopens, the two ruined buildings will be rebuilt and miners will move in them, which represents Raven Rock slowly restoring back to its former glory. I see no reason to make Raven Rock larger, but it still lacks some additional interesting details, so on top of the previous mod, we'll use Spaghetti's Solstheim Raven Rock, which is perfect for this purpose. Spaghetti's city overhauls are always lightweight and compatible, and this addition to Raven Rock is no different. It adds tons of new details around the town, but never goes overboard. Everything that is added could have already been there if I didn't know any better. I really like all the added Dark Elf style lanterns, but also all the other added objects just make sense regardless how mundane they are. The Raven of Raven Rock is a no-brainer addition to this city as well. You might remember me showcasing this mod before, but it doesn't hurt to do so again, especially in this video. This mod adds a huge rock formation in the shape of a raven looming above the town, making it seem like Raven Rock got its name from this peculiar shape of the mountain. It just makes the town feel simply more epic, and you can hike up there and mine the ruby or vein. The mod uses your mountain texture, so it won't stick out from the rest of the game. Pretty cool if you ask me. Solstheim Lighthouse adds a lighthouse on the shore of Raven Rock near the docks. This is a great detail piece, as Solstheim's weather can be at times hard to navigate in, and it only makes sense that there is a lighthouse shining light for the sailors coming or going out of the port. You can't enter the stairwell of the lighthouse, but by using the door, you'll be teleported up to a great view of the island. There is also a new guard NPC watching over it. I think this building looks simply great on the shore of Solstheim and ties everything nicely together. The last and also the smallest Raven Rock specific mod in this list is the Blue Knight Retching Netch. This mod is inspired by the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, and it changes the interior of the Retching Netch Corner Club in Raven Rock. It adds these lanterns and this beautiful blue ambient light and removes some Nordic style clutter, dust, hay and webs, making the tavern feel more Dunmer style. Let's move on to the second location. The Dovahnique settlement of Tel Mithryn is an iconic site, as these large mushroom structures make up the homes of the residents. This place is already near perfect, so I don't think it needs any big overhauls. However, one mod I want to use here is Tel Mithryn Overhaul, High Poly and Improved Meshes. This mod basically cleans up the entire settlement with enhanced meshes, making these mushroom houses less blocky, feeling more consistent, and just so much better for the eye compared to the vanilla meshes. Everything looks so smooth here now. To give the settlement a little bit more of a punch, we'll add Spaghetti Solstheim Tel Mithryn into the mix. As you know already, Spaghetti City Overhauls focus on adding small, lore-friendly and lightweight additions to the cities that just make sense. With the mod, these stairs get decorated, you can find apothecary supplies, and the graveyard is improved with details. There are also more routes around too. The mod just makes the settlement just a bit more detailed and atmospheric, but that's all Tel Mithryn really needs, as it's already quite perfect and one of the more striking places to visit in the game. The third settlement you can find in Solstheim is of course the Skaal village. This small village is the home of the Skaal tribe, self-sufficient Nords who worship the Allmaker and are harmonious with nature. To modify this location, we will be first using Skaal Village Overhaul. This mod overhauls the architecture of the village, making the houses unique with the help of a Morrowind Nord house asset pack. Now these cottages are no longer identical to Whiterun's houses. The interiors have been revamped as well to match the style of the exterior. The mod also includes a similar player home for you to acquire, Vinterhus, which is a pretty simple cottage with only the bare necessities. Needless to say, it is very cozy to stay in, and if you need any spare beds for guests or children, just let them stay in the basement. We'll look at player homes in more detail later in this video, but I couldn't pass up the chance to show off this place now that we're here. To give a final touch to Skaal Village, let's install Skaal Greathall variant, which changes the Greathall's architecture, making it look more similar to the rest of the buildings around the village. The interior has also been tweaked a bit to make it look right, and with this mod, the settlement looks great and cohesive. Now let's leave Skaal Village behind for the time being and continue on to a really fun part of this video. So now that we have overhauled our Solstheim settlements, we'll be checking out some amazing immersion, environmental and creature mods that make this island feel even more exotic and vastly different from the mainland Skyrim that we're so used to. Well, in truth, Dragonborn Solstheim boat travel is not exactly exotic in any way, but it's a good place to start this category with. This is an immersion mod that adds rowboats to Solstheim that you can use to travel between 4 different locations: Raven Rock, Tel Mithryn, Haknir Shoal and North Shore Landing. You must first purchase the boat for 150 gold, and then you can use it to row away and even use it as a storage, as there is a knapsack available for your use. I know there is some new tech for boats, but this mod works the traditional way of loading screen teleport. The boat also has a map marker, so you can find it easily while adventuring in Solstheim. Now it is time for something that is truly unique to Solstheim. Solstheim Earthquakes is a mod that adds actual earthquakes on the island with audiovisual effects to make it feel real. When an earthquake starts, you will cower, and all the NPCs that are around will also be staggered. After the earthquake, you can start jumping to stop the cowering. Just like in real life? I have never experienced an earthquake, and I hope I won't, as they sound really scary, so I don't know. By default, there is a 5% chance of an earthquake event happening on the island every 120 seconds with random duration and intensity. There is also a mod version that doesn't make all the objects go haywire, so if you want that, just select the without moving objects version of the mod. Vardenfell's erupted volcano Red Mountain is a breathtaking sight even from the safety of the island. Rudy HQ more dramatic Red Mountain Plume makes it look even more breathtaking as it's spewing hot ash all around its surrounding areas. This mod has 7 versions you can choose from and different resolution sizes, making it easy to tweak it to your liking. I feel like this mod is a must-have, as it makes the Red Mountain volcano simply incredible looking and gives a lot of character to the area. Now the environment of Solstheim is feeling quite unfriendly, so what's better than to add some wildlife into the mix, starting with cliff racers on Solstheim. This mod adds these pterodactyl-like creatures around the island that supposedly have gone extinct in the area as Saint Jube drove them off from Vardenfell, but hey, maybe nature is finally healing. These cliff racers are not aggressive, they act the same way as hawks in Skyrim that you can shoot down and loot their bodies for cliff racer tails and make a stew out of them. But if we're trying to preserve these creatures, maybe you shouldn't do that and cook a horker stew instead. But I think these flying things are not enough and we want more exotic animals to gawk at in Solstheim. Morrowind Creatures is a mod that adds 3 types of new creatures in Solstheim and the Rift, as it's neighboring the province of Morrowind. The first creature this mod adds is the Nixhound, a predator that resembles an insect, walking on 4 legs. They are obviously dangerous and aggressive, but they're also proven to make a great pet for yourself, like this one in the Retching Netch. Of course, there are also Guars, these peaceful 2-legged reptilian creatures that I also think resemble dinosaurs. You can find them in the wild, but there is also a tamed one in the center of Raven Rock that you can use as a mount. What a cutie! Related to Guars, Kaguti is another creature you can now find on the island. These beasts are aggressive, they have large tusks and stand on 2 muscular legs. Kagutis prefer solitude, so you won't usually see large packs of them roaming in the wild. These creatures do not have custom sounds, which takes you a bit out of the experience, but I still absolutely adore the mod. The third new creature I had to include in this video is the Bantam Guars from Mihail's Monsters and Animals. These small reptilian creatures resemble small dragons mixed with chickens, and they're sweet and docile and just absolutely adorable. These Bantam Guars are being raised by the Dunmer for their meat and eggs, just like chickens, so yeah, the resemblance is there. This mod adds 2 new foods on top of the creatures, so you can cook up some roast Bantam Guar haunch. But I don't want to eat them, I want one as a pet, please and thank you. You might have seen Dusty the Silt Strider in Solstheim before. I mean, I don't think you can miss her. These creatures are commonly used as a transport, but because of the eruption of the Red Mountain, their numbers have come down as well. With striding Silt Strider, there are now new Silt Striders striding through Solstheim, looking very outlandish and alien, but interesting nonetheless. You can ride them, but you can't control where they go or attack them. These big guys make the island feel really alive, and the sight of them is simply magnificent. The next mod category we're looking at is new locations in Solstheim. If you have watched my videos before, you know that I love new things to explore around the game, so this section is definitely one I'm excited for. Let's begin with Solstheim Dungeonpack. That is, as the name suggests, a dungeon pack for Solstheim. This mod adds 6 new dungeons around the island, 2 ancestral tombs, 1 cave, 1 temple in style of High Hrothgar, 1 sewer, and 1 Nordic ruin. These dungeons are all in one level, they include a lot of hostile creatures to fight against, and a lot of loot for you to scavenge. These dungeons will show up on your map, so you can head to them right away after installing the mod if you want. This mod is great for you guys who just love to dwell in these dark dungeons and bring out the big guns. The next mod is a little bit more cozy, to say the least. Solstheim Skaal Fishing Camp is a small new location for Solstheim that adds a fishing camp west of Raven Rock. Here you can buy seafood and ingredients from a man named Haki Seamist and his wife Asa. These Skaal tents are custom assets and look pretty faithful and fitting here. This mod is just one of those things that makes me feel all warm inside, adding a hard-working couple, making the best of what they have, living in nature in a cool tent. So sweet and atmospheric. The next exploration mod we're looking at is Unmarked Locations Pack, Solstheim. This mod series has made my game better in the past with its unique new locations, and now we have been blessed with the Solstheim version as well. This mod adds more than 50 new locations for you to discover and visit, with unique interactions and encounters. The mod also includes locations from the Morrowind DLC of Blood Moon, which just makes everything even better and preserves the feeling of continuum between the games. These small places you can stumble upon feel natural and seamless with the game, and I find this mod to be quite an essential one for that purpose. The final new location mod before continuing on to the category of armors and culture is the Mudcrab Merchant. In Morrowind, there is a friendly talking Mudcrab selling beverages, and this mod kind of continues on from that, adding a similar one in Solstheim. This merchant lives on its own small island, has all kinds of things to sell, and as you can see from where it sits, this one's a pretty wealthy mudcrab.
What do you think? I'm a mudcrab. Crab. Sure, a mudcrab. This me? Pretty sure.
Now let's begin to look at mods that I have categorized as armors and culture. Yeah, I know, it's sort of a weird category. There's some miscellaneous Dark Elf related mods and a couple of amazing modded armors mods, and we'll begin the section with QND SPID Dunmer pack. This mod combines lore-friendly packs of clothes and outfits for the game's Dark Elves, distributing them to these NPCs utilizing the Spell Perk Item Distributor plugin. In Ravenrock, many people do wear the vanilla Dunmer outfit, which is nice, but this mod diversifies the clothes even more. These different new clothes are distributed to both unique and non-unique characters such as bandits. I really like how this mod makes these Dark Elf NPCs look more unique, just by wearing different outfits than the general population. Then, of course, you might have already guessed I'd be showcasing these two armor mods. Armors of the Velothi Part 1 and 2 are armor packs consisting of 17 insane looking armor sets and 7 weapons altogether. I can see that these armors are crafted with utmost care and meticulous craftsmanship. The vision and the detail is beyond the level of a simple Skyrim armor mod. Of course, as we're looking at mods for Solstheim and the Dark Elves in this video, also these armors and weapons are inspired by the Dunmer and created with their theme and culture in mind. You can find these items in different places in the world, mostly in Solstheim, and they're integrated smoothly in the game. For example, the mod adds new NPCs wearing them, gives them to some existing NPCs, and you're also able to find them naturally in certain locations. My favorite must be this traveling merchant set. These physics are just so delicious. There are a lot of variations to these armors, especially with the helmets. These armors do require FSMP, which makes these set physics work right, so be sure to have it installed if you want to enjoy these armors in your game. Rally's Dark Elf furniture is a complete overhaul of the Dark Elf furniture, improving their meshes and textures to another level. All the Dunmer style chairs, beds, workbenches, crates, shelves, tables, thrones and lanterns are included in this mod. The color of the furniture is now more of a green and grey, which goes well with Solstheim's color theme. Also, I didn't realize the Dunmer don't use pillows on their beds for some reason, but this mod adds them too, allowing them to enjoy a good night's sleep. You can get this mod in 2K or 4K resolution size, and here I showcase the 4K version. Dovahnique's Diver's Dark Elf Lanterns is another smaller Dark Elf related mod that gives a little bit more charm to these settlements with this lantern overhaul. It replaces the lanterns with high poly models that display 8 different patterns on them, making them look unique and diverse. Just look at these patterns, so pretty, especially when the light shines through. This mod is powered by Base Object Swapper, so be sure to have that one installed for this mod to work. To finish this section of the video, let's add Brazier Solstheim, which is another Base Object Swapper based mod replacing the Braziers in Solstheim. I think this is a nice addition as well, just to give the island a more distinct look with small details such as different looking braziers. I think they look simple but great for this purpose. Finally, it is time to look at some incredible player homes that you can live in during your Solstheim adventures. These 3 are all very different but all very cozy, so I'm sure there's a perfect home for everyone's tastes. Let's begin with Ashlander's Abode, which is located right outside Tel Mithryn. This place is absolutely beautiful as we're on the beach, and there's a garden and a dock with a great view to the Red Mountain volcano. On the other hand, the house itself is not your traditional one. It's actually built inside a Silt strider's carcass. I guess that could be a turn off for some, but don't judge it just yet. Let's take a look at the interior first. The home is super small and snug, full of clutter, feeling like you have stepped into a house that is already occupied by someone. The home contains only the bare necessities: a bed, a wardrobe, a staff enchanter, and an alchemy lab. There's even some poor Bantam Guars there, maybe for tonight's dinner. If we step back outside, you'll see that there is a camp and a huge mudcrab behind the house, but that's not all. Hidden underneath Tel Mithryn, there's a cave, which is actually a shrine to Boethia and some more crafting stations. There you'll also find Ishtar, who you can recruit as a follower. The second location we're taking a look here is Phantom Rock, Solstheim Lighthouse home with companion wisps. This place is located in the far northeast of Solstheim, where you can find your way to with a small quest or just naturally come across it while exploring. This home is perfect for a character that loves the solitude of the lighthouse and staying in as remote place as possible, far from civilization. This house has a lot of interaction. You can toggle many things to change them to your liking and make the home your own that way. The lighthouse has gone dark, and by reading all the notes and books that are lying around, you can find out how to light it back up again. In the lighthouse, there is everything you might need from beds, containers, displays and crafting stations, but there's also a dwarven jacuzzi. Outside, there is a boat that takes you back to the mainland and an outhouse for 2. What else do you need anyway? Aside from these little companion wisps that follow you around. Now we have looked at a home in a monster carcass and a home in lighthouse, so it's only fitting we take a tour on a traditional wooden cottage home. Black Fur Refuge, Solstheim Northern Cabin Player Home, is located north from Skaal village by the coast. This home is very much a traditional Nord cottage with taxidermied wolves, skulls, and other hunting trophies, and you can also see the abundance of baked goods and other food. There is some safe storage for all your items and all crafting stations beside the enchanting table. The detailing around the cottage is beautiful and interesting to look at, but my favorite thing is actually outside. I sincerely hope this hot big bucket of water is meant to be used as a hot tub, since I already dipped in, and it's lovely to sit in while the air temperature's freezing, but it's so warm in the water. This video was co-produced by Kiera, Ryan Ulrich, Sphinx, and the Panicked Monk, as well as my other Patreon supporters whom I appreciate so much. If you want to support the channel, check out patreon.com/bardscollegegraduate. Thank you so much for watching the video. Take care and see ya!